Hello everybody, Happy New Year. Let's get stuck straight into this chart. We're going to look at Bitcoin, only really Bitcoin. There's no point in looking at everything else. Whatever Bitcoin's doing, everything else should do. So yesterday, we'll start on the 4 hourly. So we got the pump that we were hoping for. We got that pump, we got only to be rejected basically from the 200 exponential on the 4 hourly after a death cross. So this is a death cross retest at this point now. And a sharp projection, and just like a golden cross retest, if you're going to get them, you'd expect a V-shaped recovery. That is also what I am expecting generally on the higher term timeframes. But on the 4 hourly, a death cross retest takes us back down to where we started from. Now, there's a lot going on down here as far as candles and wicks. So we're talking roughly around just below 92,000. We've got candle body, wick, and then we've also got the Bollinger Band itself. So we're looking for a retest of that 92,000 or a little wick down into that area. Now, if you do sort of get below there, start closing 4 hours below there, you are looking for further down. So we'll move it up a notch to the daily. What's going on the daily? So it's the same thing really. We're scratching around in the dirt with this 50 exponential. You could argue really that it's kind of failed at this point because, you know, support, breakdown, and then we really don't know what we're doing here. So, I mean, I suppose we closed above it yesterday. Look, you can wick around. Wicks are okay, but candle bodies count for the most. So as much as we are likely to retest that 92 or 91,800, you know, if we close down there again, we're probably looking for a further continuation down. So let's have a look at the weekly then to see what sort of supports we've got down there. And we've got the 10 exponential, which counts for something, but it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. 90,400. It's more likely to see deeper down into the 80s really at this point for a much larger move down and then up. If that were to happen, look. There's areas that you can go by before that hits. Mostly going to be given to us from these supports down here. Is roughly around 87, 88. It's this kind of area here, which is around 87,000. So if we do lose this area, this is the next pit stop before any kind of meaningful bounce. But these areas down here would be gold dust if you get the opportunity. And if it does come down to those areas, it's still not a big deal. I know it might feel like the end of the world, but it really is not a big deal. You measure from the absolute peak all the way down to either this area here, which is a 29, and this one being a 35, we'll call it. And that's if we were to do it now. These are all trending up. So with every day that goes by, these close higher and higher and higher. Yeah, it would still be very likely for a V-shaped recovery. So I mean, this is why I suppose you always want to have capital. Again, like I say, 60% in on this market after that big drop down, so still quite exposed as far as I'm concerned. You don't hear me talking about being that exposed very many times, but I am currently extremely exposed to the market. Yeah, I've got 40% in cash. I would be willing to go all in if we see Bitcoin down at those lower areas. And do you know what? I wouldn't be going all in on Bitcoin. You know that. I would be all in on altcoins. This should be the last stage of the bull market at this point now. So it's all about allocation. And I know that scares people. You've got to have a conviction. If you think it's going to go up like I do, then you do need to buy from lower areas. And when you get those lower areas, you should be excited. So if we do come down, you know, to those areas, I would probably most likely go all in. My limit orders would have all been filled at that point, and so really it's for me to manually start to allocate because altcoin charts will look wrecked city. You buy them with conviction. You buy them because you believe that they will trend with the market. That's my view really. So the vast majority of my limit orders were filled the other day. So all I've got left now is a couple I think really. I've got Ethereum that didn't get filled. I was waiting for Ethereum to hit 3,000. I can't think off the top of my head now, but the majority of them were filled on those golden cross retests on those dailies for the altcoins. So yeah, long story short then, it's starting off the new year with a bit of a pullback again from the death cross, and if we do go down lower, we've got a few areas. We've got this one here, which is temporary. It might form a double bottom around here. It might not convinced massively in either way. But if it does want to come down into the upper 80s, that's also fine. And then lower 80s, also fine. All the way down to what we established would have been like the mid 80s, I suppose. I mean the middle 70s over the next couple of weeks. Within the first week, the first month of the year. So allocation being the name of the game, like I said, I wouldn't get too worried about what it is that's going on a day-to-day, especially on a day like today where basically the world's markets are more or less closed. So Bitcoin's sort of hanging with low volume and not much going on it really. But yeah, up, down, sideways, whatever it wants, it can do. I'm not particularly bothered. My expectation generally is this, which has not changed. Remember me? Sorry, I think I've caught a cold for the new year. Starting off the new year with a bunged up nose here, sore throat. My expectation is this, as you all know, it's the total 2 time frame expectation, which looks like this. So we got the first initial breakout, which is great. We're having the first initial pullback, which is also great. We're looking for the continuation. And then the end destination, like I say, which is, I suppose, 9 months away. Again, trying to predict something that's so far off is difficult, but as far as time is concerned, I'm quite happy with the way it has gone, allocated throughout this area, exited around this area, allocated around this area. I'm quite pleased with all of that, and we're looking to, or say I am looking to exit sort of towards the middle of the year, really, depending on what price action looks like at the time. So everything's still more or less working exactly as expected, and I'm just going to continue to expect it to happen the way I expect, if that makes sense. Right, I'll leave with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.